In this video, I'll be talking about the differences between the interviews of IIM Indore, Rohtak and Ranchi. So for those of you who don't know me already, my name is Abdus Samad Khan and I'm second year IPM student at IIM Indore. From my personal experience and I'm talking to a lot of my friends and batchmates about their interview experiences, what comes out is that IIM Indore interviews are very heavily based on your past academics. Basically questions from your subjects in class 11th and 12th. The difficulty level of question varies from easy to somewhere in between moderate and difficult. They focus a lot on the approach that you're using to solve a problem. Let's take an example from maths. Let's say they give you some difficult integration problems which are lengthy. They'll ask you to solve a problem and you will start solving it. If you're able to get an answer to that, well and good, but it might happen that you're not able to arrive at an answer, and in that case they'll just simply ask you to tell them the approach that you're trying to use. If your approach is right, it will definitely work out for you guys. So that is pretty much about the academics part of the IIM Indore interviews, which is like the major part of the IIM Indore interview. Now moving on to the HR questions. So not a lot of questions are asked on the HR questions in IIM Indore interviews. One reason for this could be that when you get shortlisted for IIM Indore, you get this candidate profile form wherein you have to fill basically everything about yourself, like why you want to pursue IPM, your career plans, etc, your extracurricular activities, etc. So in the interview they already have all those answers, and that is why I think they don't ask a lot of questions on those. They don't even ask you introduce yourself or why do you want to pursue IPM. A lot of people are definitely asked those questions too, but that is not a general trend which is observed in the IIM Indore interviews. Now moving forward to the general knowledge part. So general knowledge can be divided into three parts. First is the static GK, then the current affairs, and then the personalized general knowledge questions. First talk about the personalized general knowledge questions. So personalized general knowledge questions are basically the follow-ups. Let's say you said something about your father's business, you said something about, right, they'll ask you something about your father's business. Father's company you mentioned, they'll ask you something about that company. So the place where you come from, they'll ask you questions on that. This is a rough idea of the personalized general knowledge questions. Then comes the static GK questions, countries and their capitals, then how many districts are there in your state, or how many union territories are there in India, etc, some questions like these. This comes under static GK. And then current affairs, very self-explanatory. You need to be very aware of whatever is going around in the world at that point of time. Now coming to the extracurriculars part. So very few or literally no questions are asked from the extracurriculars part in the IIM Indore interviews especially. So again, one reason for this could be that you've already mentioned your achievements and extracurriculars in your candidate profile form. So that is why I think they're not very interested in wasting the time in the interview asking you the same questions again. Another reason for this could be that IIM Indore is interested in people who are very much academically oriented. So that is the reason why academics is so important in the IIM Indore interviews, and that can also be the reason why they don't ask you a lot of questions on your extracurriculars and achievements, etc. So this is pretty much about the IIM Indore interviews. And just to give you a rough idea, these are not the official figures again, just roughly our estimates. So 60% of the interview is based on your past academics. 25% of the interview you can consider to be from general knowledge, which again comprises of all three kind of questions, basically static GK, current affairs, and personalized general knowledge questions. So combined, all of those can comprise around 25% of the interview. Then 10% could be for the HR questions and 5% the extracurricular activities. So 60, 25, 10 and 5. This would be our breakdown of the IIM Indore interviews. Now moving forward to IIM Rohtak interviews. So point number one. IIM Rohtak maintains a balance between the number of questions being asked from different sections, be it the past academics, extracurriculars, or HR questions. So that is a good thing about them. Point number two. One thing which differentiates IIM Rohtak interviews from that of IIM Indore and IIM Ranchi is the extempore round. Basically, you will be given a topic. That topic can be any social topic or any current affair topic, and you will be asked to speak on that topic for 1 minute. basically you need to be aware of what's going on around the world so that you're able to speak on that particular topic for 1 minute. Third point would be the difficulty level of questions in the IPM at Rohtak interviews. The difficulty level of basically the past academic questions can vary somewhere from easy to moderate level of difficulty of question. Now, point number 4 would be a very interesting thing happens in IIM Rohtak interviews is that anywhere in the interview you mention, okay, I'm a good singer or I'm a dancer. So it might happen that they ask you to perform something on spot. Yes, you heard it right. So this happened with one of my friends last year also, that she was asked to perform Bharatnatyam in her formals. So yeah, people are asked to perform, like people were asked to sing, people were asked to dance, to recite a poem, etc. So you can expect anything in the extracurricular activities. Like if you mention those things in your interview, they will definitely ask you to perform something. So just keep that in mind. If you're mentioning any such thing like you're a singer, dancer, anything like that, keep something prepared. A rough idea for IIM Rohtak would be 30% for extempore and GK, 40% for past acads, and 30% for extracurricular activities and HR questions. Now moving forward to IIM Ranchi interviews. So IIM Ranchi focuses more on your extracurricular activities. They have extra weightage to extracurricular activities. So if you have strong extracurricular activities, let's say you have participated in some of the national or state level competitions, won some of them, it will definitely help you in your interviews. Apart from this, the general knowledge, HR or past academic questions are somewhat similar to that of the IIM Rohtak interviews. A rough breakdown would be 40% to the extracurricular activities and 20 each for your general knowledge, past acads and HR questions. I hope now you have a better understanding of the kind of questions that are asked in the interviews of IIM Indore, Rohtak and Ranchi, and now you're able to compare and contrast the kind of questions or the pattern of questions that are being asked. That was it for today. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.